This is a place where you come and explore the unseen, a domain where the line between life and death frays like a worn thread. And I'm Nathan Morris. I'm your escort through the eerie outskirts of existence, where the impossible dares to manifest. Get your head out the gutter. I'm that kind of escort. Step into the mortals, a haven for tales that defy the grave, pulling us into the heart of survival's darkest of riddles. And today's episode echoes beyond. It's going to hurl you into true accounts of those who danced with death and somehow returned. We'll tread a perilous mining tunnel with a worker snatched from a buried doom, and we'll journey to a staggering finale that will sear into your mind. A skier who crossed death's threshold in a frozen accident, only to awaken with glimpses from the other side. These aren't just brushes with fate. No, they're portals to a realm where we can't even grasp. So join me as we venture into this spectral fog. Before we plunge into today's spine-tingling survivals, though, let's frame the path ahead. Here at The Mortals, you know it, we delve into the uncharted corners of human experience, where each narrative tests the boundaries of endurance and belief. We're stepping into realms of survival that challenge logic, uncovering moments where unseen influences seem to alter fate altogether. And these two accounts will span landscapes and dangers, each, though, unveiling a presence or a mystery that shifts the course of doom. So settle into the darkness, get you a nice little snuggie, and let's peer into the abyss for answers that might never fully reveal themselves. New episodes rise from the gloom every week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, so if you're ensnared by narratives that clutch at the unknown, jot it down or etch it on a weathered gravestone. Tie a string around your finger, whatever tethers you to this odyssey. And if you hadn't hit follow yet, make the leap now. Otherwise, rumor has it, you'll wander into a quaint roadside diner at midnight, only to be roped into a bizarre pact with a group of cryptic travelers who insist you join their quest to decipher a jukebox that plays forgotten melodies of the departed. Don't get trapped in that oddball adventure. Hit follow and stick with us. Now, let's stride into our first tale of an astonishing mystery. Our first story buries us deep beneath the earth, Atacama Desert of Chile, within the bowels of the San José mine on a sweltering August day in 2010. José Henríquez, a 54-year-old Chilean miner with a weathered face and a steadfast spirit, was one of 33 workers laboring in the century-old copper and gold mine, a gritty operation known for its harsh conditions and spotty safety record. José, a devout Christian and father of two from Talca, had worked underground for over 30 years, accustomed to the claustrophobic tunnels and the ever-present risk of collapse, driven by the need to provide for his family in a region where mining was often the only livelihood. That enduring grit in the face of daily danger defined José as he descended into the mine's depths on August 5th, 2010, clocking in for a 12-hour shift at level 17, some 2,300 feet below the surface, hauling ore in a labyrinth of dusty shafts. He had no foresight that the rock around him would soon become a tomb, nor that an unexplainable force would emerge as a lifeline in utter darkness. The San José mine, operational since 1889, was a sprawling network of tunnels carved into the desert's hard crust, a place where safety was often sacrificed for profit, with crumbling supports and inadequate ventilation plaguing its depths. And on that August day, the air was thick with dust and heat, the temperature hovering near 95 degrees Fahrenheit, even underground, as José and his crew drilled and blasted rock in a narrow shaft, their headlamps cutting weak beams through the haze. The mine had seen minor cave-ins before, shrugged off by management despite workers' unease, but at 1:40 p.m., a low rumble signaled something far worse. A massive section of the mountain, estimated at 700,000 tons of rock, gave way in a cataclysmic collapse, triggered by decades of over-extraction, weakening the structure. The ground shuddered violently, a deafening roar swallowing shouts as boulders the size of cars crashed through the main shaft, severing the only exit ramp and trapping 33 men below. Jose, working near a refuge area, was thrown to the ground as dust choked the air, the tunnel ahead vanishing in a wall of rubble. Darkness engulfed them, headlamps flickering as the realization sank in. They were buried alive, over 2,000 feet underground with no immediate hope of rescue. Oxygen grew scarce, the heat oppressive, and rations limited to a shared stash of emergency food meant for a fraction of their number. Panic clawed at the group, some weeping, others praying, as hours turned to days in a tomb of stone. 17 days passed in that subterranean hell, the men rationing crumbs of tuna and sips of contaminated water, their bodies wasting, minds fraying under the weight of entombment. They organized shifts to conserve energy, dug futilely at the rubble with bare hands, and clung to dwindling hope as rescue drills above, unknown to them, struggled through solid rock. Jose, a man of faith, he led prayers, earning the nickname the pastor among the miners, yet even his spirit wavered as hunger gnawed and the air thickened with despair. On day 17, August 22nd, as he sat in the dim glow of a fading headlamp, something inexplicable broke through the oppressive silence. In a 2010 interview with The Telegraph and later in his co-authored book, Miracle in the Mind, Jose described a sensation, but not a sound, but a presence, like a steadying weight beside him, paired with a sudden, vivid certainty. Hold them together. Relief is close. His group of 33 men, hold them together. It wasn't born of his own weary mind. It surged with a calm authority, urging him to rally the men with renewed prayers and stories of hope, to keep their spirits from breaking, though no sign of rescue had pierced their prison. On August 22nd, after 17 days, a drill bit finally broke through to their refuge, a narrow probe carrying a note from above. We are well in the shelter, the 33. Cheers erupted, a lifeline of paper and ink as rescuers above confirmed their survival, though extraction would take weeks more. Jose's unyielding faith, bolstered by that unseen weight, had held the group's morale intact during the darkest stretch, preventing despair from claiming more lives through suicide or conflict as tensions had flared. Over the next 52 days, supplies trickled down the borehole, food, water, letters, while a massive international rescue operation drilled a wider shaft. On October 13th, 2010, after 69 days underground, the longest mine entrapment survival in history, the 33 miners were hoisted to the surface one by one via a capsule, Jose emerging to blinding sunlight and global acclaim. Doctors, they marveled, malnutrition, dehydration, psychological strain should have broken these men far sooner, yet they endured. In post-rescue reflections, Jose said, "Something stood with us down there. It gave me strength to lead." How did such resolve persist in a tomb of despair? Was it a collective will amplified by faith? Jose's survival, documented in global news like BBC and Miracle in the Mind, it stands as a beacon among industrial entrapments. And as I descend into that imagined darkness myself, one, I'm scared of the dark, but two, I'm drawn to the enigma of the force that steadied Jose through 69 days of burial. A silent anchor, a whisper in the stone void, upholding a band of brothers against the earth's crushing intent. It blows my mind. Jose Henríquez's unyielding stand in that buried abyss is a narrative that pierces through. A steadying weight, an unexplainable certainty bolstering him when the earth sought to entomb his spirit and keep him forever. It stirs wonder about the unseen currents that sustain us in our deepest perils. I've got another astonishing survival story ahead, the most profound of the two, and it's a tale layered with mystery that it's going to linger in your thought after the episode, so don't miss it. But before we step into our last story, I want to talk to you about a tool that's a lifesaver for creators like me. Mortals, crafting these haunting stories for you. It's my passion, but I want to tell you, editing audio used to be my personal nightmare. I'd spend hours wrestling with clunky software, and I was just trying to polish every eerie whisper I could. And then I found Descript, and it's been a game changer for me. Descript, it lets me edit audio like a pro with this text-based editing. I'm able to cut, trim, or tweak just by typing. With this automatic transcription and AI-powered tools like voice cloning, yes, I can focus on storytelling and not tech headaches. And also, it helps me fix errors you don't even know when I say words wrong, like especially all of these places across the world that I don't necessarily know how to say correctly. It's how I bring these mysteries to life without losing my mind. Whether you're starting a podcast or creating content like me, either or, Descript takes the pain out of production. Be sure to try it now for free at get.descript.com/mortals. The link's in the description. Please, trust me, it's the secret weapon every creator needs to survive their own editing disasters. Okay, the story I've been building toward, it plunges us into the frozen wilderness near Narvik, Norway, on a chilling May day in 1999. Anna Bagenholm, a 29-year-old Swedish medical student and avid skier with a daring spirit, was on a backcountry skiing trip with two friends in the rugged mountains above the Arctic Circle. Anna, a determined young woman studying to become a doctor, had grown up exploring the snowy landscapes of northern Sweden. It defined Anna as she glided down the slopes near the peak of the mountain on May 20th, 1999, her skis cutting through fresh powder, the crisp air biting at her cheeks under a pale, overcast sky. Was perfect. She had no foresight that the ice beneath her would soon betray her, nor that she'd cross into death's domain, only to be pulled back by an unexplainable force in one of the most astonishing survival stories that was ever recorded. This mountainous area, a remote stretch of the Scandinavian mountains, is a paradise for backcountry skiers. With its steep, untouched slopes and breathtaking fjord views, but it hides deadly traps beneath its beauty. Frozen streams and waterfalls lace the terrain, often covered by thin layers of snow and ice that mask the danger. Anna and her friends, all experienced skiers, had chosen a challenging route that day, navigating a series of descents near a known waterfall zone, their laughter echoing across the silent peaks. As they skied down a gentle incline above a frozen creek, disaster struck with a sudden and sickening crack. The ice beneath Anna gave way without warning, a hidden crevice over a waterfall, plunging her into an icy chute. She fell 20 feet headfirst into a narrow channel of freezing water beneath the ice. Her body wedged upside down between jagged rocks, only her ski boots protruding above the surface. The sub-zero water, barely above 32 degrees Fahrenheit, enveloped her, a shock so intense it felt like 1,000 knives piercing her skin. Her lungs seizing as she gasped involuntarily, swallowing icy torrents. Her friends, horrified, scrambled to the hull, but the current and her trapped position made immediate rescue impossible. They could only see her boots, motionless, as they radioed for help, knowing time was a merciless enemy in such cold. Anna's situation was beyond dire. Immersion in water that cold triggers hypothermia within minutes, shutting down the body as core temperature plummets, heart rate slows, and consciousness fades. She was trapped for over an hour, her body inverted, blood rushing to her head, the pressure and cold numbing her limbs as she slipped into unconsciousness, her heart faltering under the strain. By the time a rescue team from Narvik arrived at 3:30 p.m., equipped with ice picks and ropes, her friends feared the worst. Her boots hadn't moved, and no sound came from below. They hacked through the ice, pulling her limp body from the watery tomb, her skin blue, her pulse gone, her body temperature later measured at an unthinkable 56.7 degrees Fahrenheit, the lowest recorded in a hypothermia survival case. Medics on site declared her clinically dead. No heartbeat, no breathing, no brain activity that was detectable with the field equipment they had. Her body, a frozen shell. Yet, driven by protocol, they initiated CPR, airlifting her to Tromsø University Hospital over 100 miles away, where a team of specialists waged a desperate battle to revive her. For over 9 hours, they used external rewarming, defibrillators, and a heart-lung machine to pump warmed, oxygenated blood back into her system, her temperature inching up degree by degree. Then, at 10:10 p.m., against all medical expectation, her heart flickered back. A weak, erratic beat. A return, though, from death after nearly 80 minutes of cardiac arrest. In a 1999 interview with The Lancet and later accounts in Hypothermia medical journals, once conscious, described a sensation during her lifeless state. Not a thought, but a presence, like a gentle warmth wrapping her, paired with a vivid certainty, it's not over. Rise. It wasn't her will. It pulsed through the void, aligning with the moment her heart restarted, as if something had refused to let her stay in that frozen abyss. Anna's recovery was nothing short of miraculous, but the details of her ordeal and return are hair-raising beyond the clinical timeline. At the hospital, doctors were stunned. Her body temperature of 56 degrees Fahrenheit was unprecedented for survival. Most would be dead at 82 degrees Fahrenheit or higher, and her brain, starved of oxygen for over an hour, should have suffered catastrophic brain damage, yet she awoke after days in a coma with full cognitive function, defying neurological odds altogether. She spent 2 months in intensive care battling frostbite that claimed parts of her toes and enduring painful rehabilitation to walk again. But her mind remained sharp, her memory intact. What's more unnerving are her post-recovery accounts, which were shared in interviews with BBC News in 2000 and NDE researchers. Anna described floating above her body during the rescue, seeing her friends' frantic efforts and the medics' grim faces, details she couldn't have known while unconscious and submerged. She spoke of a tunnel of light and a sensation of peace, meeting a figure later identified as her deceased grandfather, who urged her return with a warmth she felt physically, coinciding with the defibrillator's success. Neurologists couldn't explain how she retained such vivid perceptions during a period of no measurable brain activity. Her EEG flatlined for the critical window. In a 2001 reflection, she said, "I was pulled back. Something wouldn't let me go." How did her awareness persist through clinical death, capturing verifiable scenes? Was it this biological anomaly, a glitch in medical limits? Her case, documented in The Lancet and hypothermia studies, remains a profound enigma among survival records. And as I linger on that journey with her through the frozen void, I'm drawn to the puzzle of her return, a silent echo from beyond, a lifeline threading through death's icy stillness, marking a revival no science would ever fully chart. Anna Bogenholm's return from that frozen abyss, alongside José Henríquez' escape from a buried tomb, unveils the unseen, those forces that seem to defy death's final claim. 2 more near-death mysteries, 2 astonishing interventions, each a fragment of the unknown that we pursue here on The Mortals. They expose our fragility, yet I know they ignite curiosity about the boundaries that we can't see, and hopefully they remind you of how important your life is. Before we part, I've got a couple of updates. First, I want to say thank you for streaming Breakthrough. Your support, it's been incredible. And I'm very grateful for every single play. Why should you stream it? It's a track that channels the raw resilience of survivors that we explore even. You maybe are experiencing something, maybe a reminder for you to push through your own impossible moments, to find strength when all seems lost, much like the stories that we uncover here. Keep streaming it wherever it is you listen to your music, Spotify, Apple, wherever, and let it fuel your own journey. Links in the description for easy access. Also, I just launched a brand new merch at The Mortals, and it's the most impactful way to support this podcast. You can explore all of our tees, hoodies, mugs. Oh my. Each item, it captures not only the essence of the stories, but it also helps you to help me spread what it is I want, which is kindness, not the gross stuff. Every purchase fuels the ability to dive deeper into these mysteries and bring you more music and more podcasts. It's how you can keep this space thriving. Head over to nathanmorrismusic.com. Links in the description to snag yours. And now I can't wait to see you repping the gear. I really do mean it when I say your support means everything. Until next time, remember this. You're loved far more than you could ever know. Take care. I have a boo-boo.